Hey, howdy, happy day. I was in a restaurant just the other day and I said to the waitress, I want a burger. She said, can it be a vegan burger? And I said, can I pay you with Monopoly money? Get real, everybody. Gosh sakes, it's the world, hey. And I want to share this with you as well. This sounds like a joke, but it's true. It is funny. I called my doctor's office the other day. It was during the lunch hour and machine came on and leave a message and all this stuff. But before it got to the message, it said, I just called to cancel an appointment. I mean, a physical, big deal. But the message was long. It went on and on. And it said, if you have a cold, don't come here. And if you're sick, don't come here. And I thought, this is the doctor's office. Where am I supposed to go if I'm sick? It's like the guy said, I guess, why you're sick. The wife said, why don't you go to the doctor? I'll wait till I'm feeling better. My doctor just confirmed it. Hey, temperatures are soaring in California. They are in many places. It's summertime. But in California, it's kind of interesting because everyone's air conditioning is working and the electric cars are being charged and the grid can't handle it all and it's kind of a mess. But Newsom, he came along, he's the governor, and he passed a new rule that said that we now are going to have, what's it called? I got it here, income-based fixed monthly fees, which means that you got another thing for the government to manage. You got a new department, another division, and people doing studies and research, billions of dollars probably, and it won't work. It can't work because who's low income? I mean, to do this, nobody knows. I mean, how do you figure that out? How do you verify incomes? And the customers now, the low income people, they lose the initiative or the incentive, I guess, to conserve electricity. What's the point? Because I got a fixed flat right now, so I'm going to let the air conditioner run overtime and so on. So people lose a bunch of carrying. It's like renting a car. Some people abuse it because they say, I don't own it. I don't know, silly example, but I think you get it. It's just another rule. Another rule that I don't think is needed. Governments are always making up rules, particularly liberal governments. They just need that. It's like, I don't know, it's an addiction to them. They're always looking for a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. So they kind of create the problems as well. It's like starting a fire and then going and putting it out and keeping your job as a fireman, whatever. Now, in Canada, there's this animal called the Canadian Infrastructure Bank. So it was funded by the Canadian government for $35 billion. And years later, they've spent about $10 billion and they haven't completed one single infrastructure project. Not one. And now all the people who work there got a bonus. $85,000 each. They got a bonus for doing something that they didn't do because they failed and nothing's working. That's the government of Canada. Governments everywhere, I guess, but the one in Canada, talk about failing. $82,000 a person. 85,200 is the actual number. This information came from the Canadian taxpayer people. They're great. They have so much good information. I took the information from them and shared it with you. They're sharing it with everybody as well. What do you do with this information? If you're Canadian, all it does is just confirm what you already know. I mean, they're robbers and scoundrels and they're bad people. So how do you fix it? It really is up to you. You have to fix it. I know everybody sits back and says, how can I? I'm one little guy. These guys control free speech in the country. They control everything. There's a way. Start to pay attention and do what you can. In the U.S. today, 131 members of Congress and 8 members of the Senate challenged the 2020 elections. The results, and they were supported by constitutional principles. They said, we don't hear about them anymore. Also, back a few years ago, all Democrats still say that Hillary won the election. We don't hear about that anymore either. All we hear about is that Trump is going to be indicted, or has been indicted, because he says that the 2020 election results were played with. But what about all these other people? They're not charged. They should be too, should they not? They're really after Trump. I mean, I got to tell you, Donald Trump is the most significant thing that ever happened to the Republican Party and to American politics ever, and to world politics as well. Every country in the world has been affected by the politics of Donald Trump and his personality and everything else because everyone talks about him. I think a baby has heard the name Trump. He's really had an impact. Negative, positive, doesn't matter. CNN, all they talk about is him. They don't talk about Biden at all. And on goes the list, but this man is attacked every day. He doesn't get a lot of praise for his accomplishments, but he did have a lot of accomplishments. Just saying, hey, let me tell you about Indians and marijuana. You drive through an Indian reservation, and they can do stuff without permits that white people can't do, right? And I was in British Columbia, Canada recently. I drove through an Indian reserve and I counted 9 locations where they're selling marijuana. 9 of them. Wow. And they sell cigarettes as well for, a fraction of the price you can pay in a store. Indians used to go, how? I think now, considering the marijuana and all of this stuff, they should go, hi. See ya.